TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to another week of TGR News.
Welcome to Israel.
Well, lots happening, as usual.
Yeah.
On primetime news, they talked about the numbers that the government was giving out of the cases in the hospital, and it was found that the government numbers were not true. That's what I like about the Israeli news. It's not, they're pretty, you could trust them pretty much most of the time. It was found to be at least a third less than what the government was saying was actually sick in the hospital.
I wonder why. I don't understand why. I'm trying to figure out what would be their motives. Why?
I don't know. They brought the Minister of Health to the news studio, primetime news in the evening news, to ask him that exact question, and just like 10 minutes before they were put on air, the government officially dropped their numbers to the real numbers, and then they asked the Minister of Health, why did you do it? He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. The numbers are real. These are the numbers that you have, is the numbers that we have. Yeah. So what they said, well, but you just dropped them 10 minutes before the broadcast because you knew we was going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know, maybe they got well. Yeah. That was his answer. Maybe they got well in the last 10 minutes.
Funny, huh? Well, I tell you what, this whole Corona thing has got a lot of people discouraged about a lot of things. And a lot of people talking about the different motivations for what Corona is really doing and how it's destroying economies and lives and burning. And it's turning America into a socialist state very quickly.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing that the Corona is doing for sure. If you look over at the big picture, it looks like it's really getting the world ready for a one currency economy.
Absolutely. China's already got one printed up. They're just trying to figure out how to get it out. And first they got to destroy the dollar, I think.
Yeah, you can't make one currency until you destroy the other ones.
There can only be one currency that's for the world like the dollar is.
Right.
So China's trying to do it, but it looks to me like Biden's trying harder than China. Yeah. He's trying to totally destroy the economy of America.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just printing money like it's they're never going to run out of paper, right?
Yeah, like inflation is not a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, talking about currency and money, the Israeli intelligence, the Mossad, they found that Hamas's accounts that they've been using Bitcoins to transfer money back and forth and to do different transactions and things. And so I thought it was interesting. They put it on the news that the Mossad now is 100% on top of their transactions and their accounts and everything.
Yeah, and I thought they were supposed to be impregnable. I didn't think no one could figure out how to trace leave it to the Israeli government. They'll figure out a way.
Mossad will figure out a way.
If it can be figured out, they'll figure it out.
Well, Israel has a built-in thing that's been going on for many years, a punishment. If there is a terrorist, whether it was by shooting or a suicide, a bomb, whatever, if they killed an Israeli citizen, soldier or citizen, their punishment is that they blow up their house.
Well, the main reason for that is you have to think about what a depressed lifestyle it might be for some of the Palestinians who are only have one purpose in life, and that's to destroy Israel.
Yep. And
the whole family sits together. And like I'm a young man, and I feel like, okay, I want to do something good for my family, and my life is not worth anything anyway. At least that's the way I feel about it. I'm a young Arab man. So if I know that now if I do a suicide bombing, my family will be able to get money for the rest of their life,
and they'll be set.
And I'll be the greatest martyr, and I'll do the greatest thing for my family.
Absolutely.
So a lot of families encourage their kids to do that.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, it's not uncommon to see a Palestinian mama telling you how proud she is of her suicide daughter or suicide son.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Yeah, so that's the way Israel would attack that problem, is to make it where they wouldn't be so financially set up. They would take the house down.
Absolutely.
But Biden spoke up against that punishment now. He's against it now, and which I don't think that's. Sometimes in life, people need to learn to keep their nose out of other people's business.
Well, it's a cultural thing. Everyone can't be like the United States of America.
Yeah.
America is America, Israel's Israel, and Iran is Iran, right?
Right.
So we have to learn to live together, not be so spatial, right?
Right, exactly. The one thing they talked about, which is something that's real big for me, was on primetime news. They talked about during Corona, you had all these lockdowns. And during lockdowns, kids did not go to school. And there are 500,000, over 500,000 kids in the state of Israel, where most of the food that they get and they eat is from when they go to school. And so during Corona, over 500,000 kids did not eat.
Or they got very little to eat.
Very little to eat. Yeah.
You can only eat beans and rice so much before it becomes monotonous.
Yeah. Well, that's something, by the way, real big for me, is the food thing. I'm gonna put a video out here, not this week, but here pretty soon. You can keep your eye out on it. I'm gonna be talking about that problem we have here in Israel about the food.
You've been talking about that for years, Joel.
Yep.
I believe the Lord give you that. I really do. I believe the Lord give you that vision. So I think it's eventually going to happen.
Oh yeah, it will. It definitely happens.
Well, are you waiting on God, or is God waiting on you?
Neither. Like I said, there's a video I'm working on. I've already started working on it to get things moving, to get things going.
Yeah. By the way, talking about these videos you're doing, like the one we're doing right now, make some comments about it. We love. I love to read the comments, especially the nice ones. Yeah. So I really do love it. So, and I know Joe loves it. Looks forward to it. So make some comments about when you watch these videos, all the other ones Joe does.
Yeah.
Make comments.
Yeah, even the not nice ones. Sometimes I learned a lot from them too. The another thing is don't forget to if you want to hear, like what we talked about, the food thing and everything. If you want to know more about what we're doing, don't forget to come over to thegoldenreport.com and subscribe to the newsletters over there, because that's also very important.
Oh, it really is. I'd like to talk a minute about what's happening in America with the weather. Not only in America, but in China and Japan, and right now in Germany and in the Netherlands, the flooding. I mean, they've never seen floods like that. Even in America, in Arizona, the flooding everywhere. It's an amazing, absolutely an amazing thing. What's going on, and it seems like you almost have to be brain dead to know that there's something. If you don't believe something is really going on spiritual, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's really something. I'll tell you what. I got a verse of scripture. I want to read it to you. I want to read this. I had someone tell me the other day when I mentioned that God uses the weather to chasing these people, and He chases those who He loves, by the way. And I told him this. They said, no, God would never do that. So, and it says in Job 37, verses 9 through 13, I'm going to read them to you. It says, out of the south cometh the whirlwinds, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightened. Also by watering the wearieth, the thick clouds, he scatters his bright cloud. And it is turned around about by his counsels. Then they do whatever the commandments them, and then he commandeth them upon the face of the world and the earth. God commands the waters, the airs, and everything. And then he says, he causes it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. So you see, God does use the weather to correct people with, and I really believe that God has turned it's just absolutely just can't do anything but pour his judgment out on America right now.
Absolutely.
It's so sad what's happening in the White House and Biden. I just can't understand it. I used to try to figure out what to do about it, and I would pray about things like Do you want Trump to be reelected? I think God's already showed us what he had in mind for Trump. I really do. He may run again. If he does, he'll probably be elected. But the thing about it is, America's already rejected Trump.
Yeah.
And was God's chance to them. They've already rejected it. I think now we just better hold on and just believe God's prophetic word is going to transpire just exactly like he said it's going to happen. And everything, the stage is set. Worldwide, it's unbelievable what's happening with the weather. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Another thing happened this week was back to Bennett, you know. He made a statement now that everyone in Israel needs to take a third booster shot from Pfizer. And that was very strange because Pfizer themselves even said it's not, you should not take a third shot. You know, that's what Pfizer themselves said. And he wants to give everyone, he's already started already, Israelis getting the third booster shot.
Well, I don't know. Even those who have taken the shots, I don't believe they're going to go for a third shot.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because there's a lot of people taking that shot and wish they wouldn't have, or that now they don't know because they keep reading all the conspiracy stuff comes across. And I don't know if it's conspiracy theory or just conspiracy. You know,
Yeah.
it says they're not the same thing. You know, one's a theory and one's a spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
The real deal, right? So we don't know what's going on with it. I don't know what's going on with Charlotte, and I'm sort of stay away from that subject.
Yeah. Bibi made a speech in the Knesset this week, and he tried to shed some light on the subject of how he believes that Bennett is lacking in attention that he needs to give to the threat from Iran. He doesn't think that, obviously, as an opposition, that's his job, right? But I don't know if it's true or not. I sure hope it's not true.
We don't know. The government. We don't know what's happening with the government anymore. And you know, Bennett's in a terrible. I know he hates for me to say anything good about Bennett, but Bennett's in a terrible spot. You know, I'm sure he wants to do the right thing. I'm convinced he's a Zionist. I'm convinced he's a pro. He loves Israel very much. And I just think if he was, we're not going to get the average. Unfortunately, the Israeli people are not going to give him a chance. They're really not. They're not, and it's going to be hard. So he's got an uphill climb.
Yeah,
it really does.
Well, right now there's one of the reasons why he will not get the support of the Israeli people, like you said, is right now there's Arab villages in the Negev that have been found to illegally expand and build their villages and stuff to try to, because they're trying to take over as much land as possible. And before Bennett was prime minister, they were already caught. They do the trial and everything. They were found to be guilty, and so they had to. Their houses were already scheduled for demolition. But now, after Bennett's the prime minister, these illegal places are all of a sudden off the docket. They won't be destroyed, and they're starting to get more rights to build even more. That's the reason why that, and many other reasons like that, why Bennett will never have a chance from the Israeli people.
Well, that means we're in for a ride then, because when you have a president or a prime minister and he doesn't have the mandate from the people, and they're not behind him, that's a recipe for failure. Yeah. Any way you look at it, there's not too many good things can come out of something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like we love to say, God's in control. He is, he is in control. In case anyone hadn't told you, God is in control.
100%. Yeah. The another thing up north is the criminal Arab element. Not the terrorists, but the criminal Arab element. They're shooting up restaurants and burning people's cars who come out to stay at a bed and breakfast or something. The customers' cars and stuff. And they're going a lot crazier than they ever have been because of trying to get protection. You know, it's like mafia, right, kind of stuff. But that was never been that bad. But probably the reason they're starting to, act out a little bit more is they have a little bit more confidence that everything's going to be okay, because they feel like, again, like the Negev is becoming the Arab territory now, and they're feeling more and more confident here to do things.
This same spirit flows all over the world.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it flows like it's in Antifada, it's in the Black Lives Matter, it's in cultural counseling culture. It's the same aggravated, violent spirit floating all around the world. It's just time for Christians and believers who, if you believe in God, you need to be praying, asking
Amen.
for the right directions in your life and that direction for your family.
Amen.
Oh, it's really bad. I think that in Israel right now, with what Joel just said, is really a bad thing. And by the way, up north, it's not just the criminal element in the Palestinian thing. Right now, it's Lebanon, and Hezbollah is sitting there with 200,000 missiles ready to go at Israel.
Right.
And the economy is completely crashed. The prime minister just quit for the third time, I think it is, the same one. And his father was assassinated before him,
Yeah.
Morari. So it's really been, it's bad. Now, right now, if this thing don't happen, if it happens very soon, I want to talk about this ministry for a minute, because if it does happen very soon, all the years of work and finances and money that we've spent, and all the traveling and establishing safe places and all these different things we've done around the Eastern Mediterranean to get ready to save European Jewish lives when everything crashes here, when the war begins. And here it's about ready to begin, and because of Corona and a lot of other things, we're really hurting. We're really hurting, and it's not us hurting. We're eating every day, and we're doing okay, fine, it's like that. But we're hurting because inside we're hurting because we spend all this time and money and energy with believers who wanted to help us save Jewish lives, and now we find ourselves in a situation that if the finances doesn't increase very soon, we don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds pathetic, but it's the way it really is. It's the way it really is.
Yeah.
So Joel's YouTube is taking off really great, and people love it, and that I think that might help us. But we need to constantly try to tell you, please go to the goldenreport.com. Go there and read some of the articles. If you're not familiar with us, if you haven't been following us for these years, take a few minutes to read this. We are all about saving Jewish lives. Help us if you can.
Okay. Well, that was pretty good. Until next week.
Shalom, shalom from Israel.